There are new champions among the Democrats, as you've heard, and Republican leadership for our industry, leaders who recognize that we need all low-carbon sources of electricity, and that nuclear energy is foundational to U.S. energy security. Our industry has focused legislative and policy agendas this year, and we are working with both Democrats and Republicans to build support for our priorities, which include, and you've heard some of this during the discussions before, limited changes in law or administratively to the DOE loan guarantee program to correct the deficiencies in the current program, appropriation of additional loan guarantee volume to supplement the $20.5 billion provided in the 2005 Energy Policy Act, the development of an innovative financing platform like the Clean Energy Deployment Administration, full funding from DOE to complete the Nuclear Power 2010 program, tax-related incentives for nuclear supply chain and nuclear workforce development, and a new and sustainable used nuclear fuel management policy. We are working with our membership to address all of these issues, as well as build a strong base of support for nuclear energy in Congress. The fact that our facilities safely produce large amounts of electricity without producing greenhouse gases, and that our industry is creating thousands, ultimately hundreds of thousands, of high-paying green jobs positions us well on Capitol Hill. I mentioned earlier that 23 members of Congress joined leaders from our industry, the environmental community, and labor for a briefing on nuclear energy issues at the Library of Congress. At the meeting, Majority Leader James Clyburn told the standing room only crowd that he had recently discussed the significance of nuclear energy with President Obama and Speaker Pelosi. Conversations on our issues at that leadership level, including the support of Majority Leader Hoyer, which you heard this morning, are continuing and invaluable. Just last week, moderate Democrats released a renewable energy portfolio that clearly includes nuclear energy among the diverse mix of electricity sources. And Democratic and Republican leaders from the House and Senate, respectively, have asked Energy Secretary Chu to resolve the remaining issues with the DOE loan guarantee program to ensure that the program functions as it was designed. Addressing our key policy and regulatory issues will require a unified industry effort. Maintaining the excellent performance, these priorities, as well as those associated with maintaining the excellent performance of the current plants, may become even tougher in light of the demographic changes taking place in the industry and in related communities. We have seen substantial turnover within our industry, with nearly half of the industry's chief nuclear officers changing over in the past few years. NRC management ranks in the past few years has reflected that rate of change also, and because of their restaffing, half the NRC staff has less than 5 years there as regulators. Many new employees are coming on board at the NRC and with us. And that's terrific in terms of industry growth, refreshment, but it also increases the pressure on efforts to transfer knowledge and shape new leadership. Transferring knowledge is an absolutely necessary but an insufficient condition for creating new leadership capable of maintaining stability in essential regulatory, technical, and political programs. Much of what we accomplish, certainly at NEI and in the industry, we accomplish not just because we're technically competent, but because we've developed good relationships and we can communicate effectively. So we need to work on that too. And this leads me back to the topic that I started with. The need for industry executives, CEOs, chief nuclear officers, plant managers, and others to be directly, personally involved in outreach to policymakers. I realize there are exhaustive demands on your time, and I know nuclear energy is far from the only issue you manage at your companies. This is all the more reason that we need to leverage industry resources to the greatest extent possible. I have just one request of you today. Reach out to your representatives in Congress and your state and local leaders on a regular basis. They need to hear from you. They need to hear from all segments of the industry, from vendors, suppliers, from universities that are preparing. I thought Chairman Visklowski's comment about the young folks that came to visit him. We need to make sure when people go to visit in groups of 10 or 15 that they have been talked to and at least understand. When we have the chairman of the Appropriations Subcommittee educating his constituents for us, it's a wonderful thing. But we ought to be out there making sure he doesn't have to do it so he gets his thinking reinforced. Enhancing policymaker support for nuclear energy is essential. Adding your individual voice to industry outreach activities is extremely important and immeasurably valuable. We are at a pivotal time for our industry and in the evolution of energy and climate policy. Because of the safe and reliable operation of our existing facilities, we have a tremendous opportunity to establish the business and policy foundation for expansion of the nuclear energy industry in the United States and abroad. Nuclear energy must be part of the solution and ensures there is affordable, reliable electricity for all people. NEI members have been working together to maximize the value of our current nuclear energy facilities and to set the stage for the future contributions of this industry to mankind, contributions that actually extend beyond just the basic production of electricity. We need to build on those successes by enhancing our coordination and integrating our resources to garner broader support for nuclear energy and our industry's policy goals. We are going to be doing a lot to work with you to try and get this integration going and to mobilize all of our resources in a more effective way than we have in the past. We look forward to working with you, and let's work together to make that a reality.